In this box is the all-new Bergara Wilderness Sierra. We're gonna get hands-on and knee-deep with this rifle. This is gonna be good. Gavin Gear here from UltimateReloader.com. In this box is perhaps Bergara's most versatile, value-priced hunting rifle. This is the Wilderness Sierra. We've got it in .308 Winchester. Let's see what's in the box. Well, here it is. It's pretty simple what's included. We've got the rifle itself. The bolt comes packaged separately. Length of pull spacers. This is really nice. Owner's manual, warranty registration, thank you card, and decal. Let's talk about this rifle real quick. Why is this potentially one of the most versatile hunting rifles from Bergara? Well, it's compact, it's lightweight, it's got Bergara's Sporter stock, but this one has a cheek riser. So in terms of ergonomics and shootability, optics friendliness, that is a huge improvement for a rifle like this, and it just tucks down kind of out of the way. You wouldn't even know it was there if you didn't want to use it, right? We've got multiple swivel studs, 5/8 24 threaded muzzle. We've got a fluted barrel with sniper gray Cerakote. It comes with the hinged floor plate, but this is an M5 bottom metal cut, so we can actually swap this out for a magazine fed configuration if we want to. And you know, I've come to really trust Bergara rifles and have had some amazing accuracy out of these guys. So I am really excited to put this to use. We're gonna waste no time. I'm gonna pick out some rings and a scope. We'll get that mounted and go out shooting. So as you can see, the rifle's been put together, and I've actually gone out and shot it and had a bunch of fun with it. This thing is great. I'll get to some of those shooting impressions and different dynamics a little bit later. The scope that I chose was the Element Nexus Gen 2 4-25 by 50. We recently reviewed the Theos, and that's a little bit of a higher end scope. That's a 34mm tube scope. This is a 30mm tube scope. It's a little bit more affordable. It's a little bit more lightweight, but it really carries a lot of the same attributes that I loved about the Theos. It's got an illuminated first focal plane reticle, multi-coated lenses. The tool-free design here, you just undo these knobs and you can get to the battery. It's got an illuminated reticle. Change your elevation, 0 stop and 0 all at the same time. And then if you remove the side cap, you can put a thread protector, which is included over that. You can easily reset your windage 0 with the same type of thumb screw arrangement. No Allen keys necessary. So made in Japan, really high quality. It's got the revolution indicator for the elevation turret, a removable magnification throw lever. This has got all of the basic stuff that I'm gonna look for in a tactical scope. Now, this is a little bit more scope than a lot of you would put on the Sierra. And the reason that I went with this scope is that we were gonna do some long range shooting, which we'll get to. And also, when I'm testing a rifle, I like to have a good high magnification optic so that I get good aiming precision, right? So this whole setup is perhaps a little bit heavier and a little bit more elaborate compared to a good lightweight hunting setup that you might traditionally configure this rifle with. And for rings, we went with the Hawkins featherweight scope rings. You can see here that we don't need a rail, right? So there's a little bit of simplicity and weight savings inherent there. Hawkins Precision is super top quality gear, really easy to install. Everything went together perfect. We have other stories where we're going to be using these particular rings, and I'm also planning to do a dedicated feature to go over all of the different options, features, and specs. So sight-in was really straightforward. We used our new range out behind the shop and did some shooting with Hornady's 168 grain tap ammunition, and then also with some hand loads that we put together with 175 grain SMKs and previously fired Hornady brass. Tap ammunition was just over an inch. I only shot one group that was a part of the initial sight-in, and then I wanted to do some more testing with these SMK bullets that I've been shooting with other 308 configs recently, and they produced good groups, the smallest of which measured about 5/8 of an inch. So after sighting in the rifle, I wanted to do some different types of shooting. I started with some offhand shooting with the radial brake. I did most of the break-in and the initial sight-in with the radial brake. And the radial brake really shines when you're offhand shooting, right? A traditional hunting scenario. If you're shooting prone, you're gonna get a bit more blast downward because of the omnidirectional nature of that brake, and it can blow dust and dirt around, right? So it's not optimal for prone shooting, but really great for offhand shooting. Great recoil reduction. We've tested that in the past. It falls kind of right in the middle of the range with some of the heavier hitting side 4-port brakes and stuff like that. The rifle points well, it handles well. I really love the fact that you've got the adjustable cheek riser so that you can dial in your setup with whatever scope height you're running and whatever kind of ergonomics that you prefer. So after we did the offhand shooting in what we call our industrial yard, where we have a bunch of steel targets set up, we went up to the ridge line and shot at both 335 yards and 660 yards. And it was definitely fun. I was doing that with the suppressor, and one of the things that I noticed was you get pushed around pretty bad with the suppressor, right? It's that long push. So it was a little difficult to see my trace and to spot my hits and misses, but no problem getting on target at 335, and I had multiple successive hits at 660 yards as well.
Nice.
Okay, so let's revisit some of the features and specs. First and foremost, the MSRP on this rifle starts at $10.99, which is a really great price point given the versatility, the features, and the quality of this rifle. 7.4 pounds starting weight, that's the weight of this particular rifle. It's got 4 rounds internal magazine capacity, sub-MOA guarantee, which we verified. Number 5 taper fluided barrel. The entire barrel to action is sniper gray Cerakote. 5/8 24 threading on the muzzle, right? Comes with that omnidirectional brake. But as you can see here, this is a silencer co-hybrid suppressor that we're running on there. Really great option for hunting to run suppressed or with the brake. It's got the Bergara Sporter stock, which has a couple key things here. It's got the M5 bottom metal cut, and this comes with the hinged floor plate. In a while, I'll talk about our experiment converting this to mag-fed. And then it's got the adjustable cheek riser. It's got kind of a nice rubberized texture, so really good grip. Adjustable length of pull, right? It just kind of checks all the boxes. Slim construction, simplicity, really, really great as a hunting rifle. Another thing to mention is that there's left-hand options, and if you go to the Bergara website, you can see the complete list of chamberings there. A lot of you have been commenting on, hey, I'm a lefty, what about this particular rifle? Based on what I've been showing recently, this is great news for those of you that are interested in the Bergara Sierra. So, chamberings, 308 Winchester, like what we've got here, 6.5 Creedmoor, 22-250 Remington, 6mm Creedmoor, 6.5 PRC, 270 Winchester, 30-06, 7 Rem Mag, 300 PRC, 300 Win Mag, and 7 PRC. That pretty much covers all of the different North American hunting configurations, cartridges, preferences that I'm aware of. I think Bergara did a really good job picking this lineup of chamberings. So my preference on this would probably be for smaller game, smaller medium-sized game like a deer, probably 6.5 Creedmoor, maybe 6.5 PRC. And if I was going for larger game like elk or grizzly bear, I would definitely go with 7 PRC. Okay, so let's talk about changing things up. When I found out that this had an M5 bottom metal cut, I knew I had to try a magazine-fed configuration with this. And if you look at our Ridgeline shooting footage, you'll notice we're running that configuration. All you have to do is take the 2 action screws out, take out the bottom metal, which has the spring and the follower for the internal box magazine, take out the internal box, which is a stamped sheet metal kind of little arrangement that's inside, and then insert what I've got here. This is Hawkins Precision M5 bottom metal, right? So it uses that same exact profile. It went right in. I used the action screws from a totally different rifle, the ones that come with the M5 bottom metal, slid right in. And this is an AICS 10 round magazine, a steel magazine. This setup worked perfectly. So I absolutely love the fact that you could take a rifle like this, and based on what hunt you're going on and based on what your needs are that particular day, run either the hinged floor plate with internal box magazine or an M5 detachable box magazine setup like what I've got down here. That is some real versatility. It's going to affect weight, it's going to affect the ergonomics, it's going to affect the function, and really easy to go back and forth between the two. It only takes something like 2 minutes, right? Okay, and then on the muzzle end, what I like to do with these radial brakes is take the Allen key that just barely fits through the holes and use that to apply the torque to crack it loose, right? I lubed it up really good with TW25B grease for those muzzle threads. And of course, our Soundcircle hybrid just screwed right on. And this is an optimal hunting setup in my opinion, right? To run suppressed is just where I want to be. Or if you're going to be shooting all day and you don't want to bother your neighbors or whoever, right? Suppressor, really, really good option for that kind of shooting. And having a threaded muzzle now is just a really great extra bullet point on that list of features for this particular rifle. Okay, so in conclusion, I feel like Bergara really knocked this one out of the park. It's got great quality. It's got a great barrel. I like fluted barrels personally. The balance of the simplicity and the lightweight that you get there. It's got the threaded muzzle, 5/8 24, checking a lot of the boxes that I care about. The weight at 7.4 pounds is really good. And it's that mix of versatility and price point. Really hard to beat, right? What I didn't like. So first, the Omni brake is not optimal if you're going to be doing a bunch of prone shooting. Now there are a lot of different side port brakes that are affordable options if prone shooting is your thing. With the threaded muzzle, that's a really easy thing to change. Or of course, you could run a suppressor like what I've got here. And then also 308 Winchester. The reason I got this in 308 Winchester is there was one available, right? And this is kind of an early preview kind of thing. One of the first units in the USA I was able to get my hands on, right? But, you know, and 308 Winchester has its place. Target shooting at medium ranges, if you want to get, you know, surplus ammo or something like that. For me, sometimes I reload tracers and have fun with that. But really, I would be more likely to choose something with higher ballistic potential, right? For medium game or for long range shooting, something like a 6.5 Creedmoor would be great. Or if we're stepping up to a really big animal like an elk or a grizzly bear, a 300 PRC or a 7 PRC would be great choices. But really, those things are absolute nitpicks. I think this rifle is really going to be hard to beat at this price point, and I really feel like Bergara has continued to refine their product lineup, and undoubtedly based on thousands of pieces of input from its customers like you. Here's what I'd like to know is, what do you think of the all-new Bergara Wilderness Sierra rifle? If you were going to get one, would it be short action or long action? Which chambering would you choose, and what would you be using it for? Would you be using it for hunting? Probably so, right? What would you be hunting? Would you be changing anything, accessorizing? Would you be running a magazine-fed setup like I did some of the time? Drop a comment and we'll start that discussion. Don't forget, we've also got a dedicated video coming up on the Element Nexus Gen 2 4-25x50. We put it through laboratory tests. The results were pretty amazing. So you're going to want to check that out as well. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications. That concludes this video, and that means it's time to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, where we've got unrestricted content, and Instagram. Make sure to follow us on all those channels. Ultimate Reloader also has a commercial solutions division serving law enforcement, the military, and the gun industry. We have some unique capabilities, including a comprehensive suite of recoil testing and evaluation capabilities, trigger profiling, and more. If you're interested in custom rifles like what we build here on the channel or gunsmithing services, you're going to want to go to rifles.ultimatereloader.com and get on the wait list. If you want to learn lucrative gunsmithing like what I show here on the channel, including building custom rifles and Cerakote plus a whole bunch more, you're going to want to check out the Colorado School of Trades, schooloftrades.edu. Thanks again for watching.